Joining me now is Congressman Elijah Cummings, the top Democrat of the House Oversight Committee, and Jonathan Capehart of the Washington Post. Thank you both for being here.
It's good to be with you.
Congressman, it sounded today like you are really fed up with how Representative Issa runs the committee.
Yeah, I got very upset because, first of all, he was trying to unilaterally subpoena one of the top advisors to the president. And the White House had done everything in its power to work with Chairman Issa to provide him with any information that he wanted. But he wasn't really after trying to answer the questions that he claimed that the hearing was all about. It's supposed to be about the Hatch Act and whether there was any violations of that act with regard to the White House's Committee on Operations, Political Operations and Strategy. Well, we, by the way, Reverend, we had the special counsel on the panel who oversees the Hatch Act, and she would have told him that there were absolutely no problems with what the president has done. There has been no wrongdoing, and as a matter of fact, she would have told him that they did it by the books. But you know what? He shut down the hearing before she could even have one word to say. I think because he really did not want to hear it.
Well, let me just raise some facts to you that raises one to believe what you're suggesting. Because, you know, this is all about politics. When the White House said its political director wouldn't testify, but they sent staffers to brief the Oversight Committee on his work. A Democratic source told Roll Call, quote, "Guess who didn't even bother to show up? One guess, correct. No Issa." The source said staff briefed Issa's staff for an hour and 15 minutes and answered every question, 45 in all, until they stopped. So, if Issa really was interested in what was going on, wouldn't he have gone to the briefing?
He would have, not only would he have gone to the briefing, but Reverend, but he would also have today allowed the special counsel who's in charge of the Hatch Act to testify that there was absolutely no problems. But again, I mean, he didn't want to hear that, and he didn't want the public to hear that. And I think that's so sad because it goes against the credibility of our committee, and it goes against the things that we stand for. And I think it's just very unfortunate.
Jonathan, we have watched Chairman Issa seemingly just go after this president, go after Attorney General Holder. I mean, this looks blatantly political to many of us.
Yes, it does, because so far a lot of Chairman Issa's investigations have come up empty. And when I wrote about this yesterday, talking to the same Democratic source, I posited the fact that maybe because the Benghazi committee the Benghazi investigation has been taken away from Chairman Issa, that he's looking for something else to do. Look, one of the things you didn't bring up that Congressman Cummings did in that committee hearing during his testimony, he played back for Chairman Issa something that he said, something that the chairman said in 2011. Where he said he would seek the committee's counsel, their guidance on when to issue subpoenas, and that he would talk to members on his side of the aisle, but also members on the other side of the aisle to see whether he was, quote, nuts or, quote, am I wrong in seeking out a subpoena. And it was after Ranking Member Cummings prepared his testimony, plus showing him that video, but before the Office of Special Counsel got to testify, Chairman Issa decided to cut the committee hearing short.
So I see you shaking your head, Congressman Cummings. He had made this commitment that he would consult committee members before issuing subpoenas?
Yeah, and if there was any disagreement, that we would possibly bring it to a vote. There's not been one single vote on these 99 subpoenas, and in many instances, Reverend, he issues these subpoenas, and then we find out about them in the newspaper.
Wow. How do you explain that, Congressman?
I think that, unfortunately, Chairman Issa has made a decision that he wants more attention. When this Benghazi issue was taken away from our committee, we suddenly saw a huge spike in the number of subpoenas going out. And I think it's sad because it just undermines everything that we're trying to do. As I told Chairman Issa today, I said, look, you know, if you want to go far, you go with others. If you want to go fast, you go by yourself. And basically what he's been doing is going by himself.
"99 subpoenas. I mean, Jonathan, he sounds like after the Benghazi investigation was taken, he sounds like the sour grapes chairman.
Yes, and when you look through the series of letters back and forth starting in March of this year between Chairman Issa and the White House to Chief of Staff Dennis McDonough, then White House counsel Catherine Rumler, and then her successor, Counsel Eggleston, Chairman Issa is asking for things, but where there's no real, there's no allegation whatsoever of any wrongdoing, and the White House keeps coming back and asking for, well, you know, what we do, here's how the office was reconstituted, here's how we've done it. Is there something else that you need to know? When he handed down that subpoena, the White House then said, hey, we will brief you at a time and location and date of your choosing before today's hearing. And they did that. And as you pointed out at the beginning of this segment, the White House team went up to the Hill, was there for 75 minutes, answered every question that was posed to them until the committee, the folks who were there, exhausted all of their questions, 45 in all. And Issa was not there.
Congressman, with so much of the public viewing the Congress in a very negative light and really as dysfunctional, does this kind of behavior beyond the politics, beyond your party and Chairman Issa's party, does this continue to tarnish the image of the Congress and take away from the respect that your committee should have as the Oversight Committee?
No doubt about it, Reverend. I've said that what I want to be, and we ought to be about, is effectiveness and efficiency. But what we're getting, Reverend, is we're getting all kinds of efforts to draw attention from the things that we ought to be addressing, and that's very, very sad. And so the things that go to the center of people's lives, we never get to those, and we deal with these issues. And there's nothing wrong with looking at IRS and Benghazi, but my goodness, there are so many other issues that the American people want us to be addressing, and we need to be about doing that.
No, there's nothing wrong with looking at them, but if there's nothing there, there's something wrong with continuing to dig for things that are not there.
And you can't be manufacturing the facts.
Real issues.
Yeah, you can't just disregard facts that you don't like, and so it does go against our credibility. And as I said in the hearing today, it goes against not only the credibility of the committee, but of the Congress.
Congressman Elijah Cummings, I thank you for coming on tonight. Jonathan Capehart, always good to have you with us.
Thanks, Red.
Thank you both tonight.